In the town of Bellaire, Ohio, there is a house that is considered one of the most haunted houses in the United States. But what is it that makes this place so paranormally active? For this video, we will look at the potential causes for the paranormal activity here as we look at the history of the Bellaire House. Hundreds of years ago, the Native American tribes of Ohio had a practice of using the caves near where the house was built to bury leaders, chieftains, shamans, healers, and witch doctors. They used to hold ceremonies and practice magic in the area. With tribal burial land being as sacred as it is, could these indigenous spirits be seeking revenge for this desecration? The French and Indian War soaked the land with blood from 1754 to 1763. During this war, the French slaughtered the indigenous people all over this area to where their cries can still be heard with the wind. Was the land so scarred that something could pass through from the other side? Or is it the residual energy of this war that has stained the earth? Jacob Hetherington owned all the coal mines in the Ohio Valley. He was known as an honorable person who always paid his debts. He owned 667 acres of farm and coal mining land, plus 110 acres of woodland area in the valley, including 76 acres off the banks of the Ohio River, which sits on top of one of Jacob's coal mines. This was where the Bellaire House would eventually be built. Legend says that Eliza Armstrong saw a falling star one night and decided to follow it to see where it landed. Despite being told that a falling star was a bad omen, Eliza was relentless in her pursuit of its landing spot. What she felt was the final resting place of the falling star took her to the banks of the Ohio River and meeting Jacob for the first time on his property. Jacob had no problem working right alongside his employees in the mine. He and his best friend Jack had helped expand the business, and Jacob trusted Jack more than anyone. You see, Jack was his pet mule. When it came time to build the house, Jack was right there to help. And so the old nursery rhyme, "The House That Jack Built," was about the mule and the Bellaire House. The Bellaire House was built in 1847, but it was where the house was built that could lead to its paranormal activity. When building your house, it's all about location. We know that the house was built near Native American burial caves, but there were other things about this location that can cause it to be paranormally active. For one, the house was built on the banks of the Ohio River. Most in the paranormal field know that running water stores spiritual energy. What manner of entities could be in a house with sacred burial caves on one side and a flowing river on the other? There are the ley lines. Ley lines are found all over the world, said to house spiritual energy and enhance psychic abilities. It's not a random thing that the Native Americans buried their highest order here or performed rituals because there was a ley line in this area. In fact, this ley line and all its spiritual energy runs right through the middle of the Bellaire House. Just think if this ley line were to link the Ohio River to the burial caves, with the house right in the middle. But the land isn't the only thing special about the location of this house. By looking into the night sky, you can see Mars, Saturn, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter all in planetary alignment at certain times of the day. There are also constellations in alignment. The indigenous would follow this alignment at these times of the day in order to channel the peak energy of the heavens and drive it right into the earth. Maybe this is one of the reasons that despite the cleansings done in this house, that it remains fully active. Did the falling star indeed have a curse upon it? Or did the Native Americans finally get their revenge? The people in the house, on the property, and under it were met with a tremendous sadness and death in the house's history. In 1893, there was a devastating mine explosion that happened in coal mine number 1. Operators of the mine spent $8,000 in an attempt to put the fire out, but they finally came to the decision that they could make no further efforts for the fire or rescue those left in the mine. It took days for the fire to go out and for them to recover the bodies. In all, 42 people died in that horrific accident of coal mine number 1, a mine which sits directly underneath the Bellaire House. By March of 1893, it was said that the Hetherington coal mines were completely abandoned. Jacob Hetherington passed in 1904. The coal mining empire went to his son Alex, and granddaughter Lyde by his side. Unfortunately, with Alex at the helm, the business started to falter. It was believed that the tragedy that happened in the mine had gotten to Alex psychologically, and his mind began to unravel. He suffered from partial paralysis and epileptic seizures that were viewed at the time as signs of being cursed, insane, or even possessed by a demon. Alex had continued to deteriorate mentally even though he recovered from his paralysis. Documentation from the court stated that Alex lost the use of his manners and had become non-compos mentis, ruling that he was unfit to continue managing his business affairs. His state of delusion was such that he would not know where he was going, or even his own name. A psychologist recommended that Alex be committed, citing troubles with business and personal relations as the cause. With that, Judge Isaac Gaston ordered Alex to be sent to Athens Asylum for the Insane in Athens, Ohio. Alex's daughter Lyde had taken over the affairs of the mine, and her brother Edwin left the military in the 1900s to be close to Lyde and possibly help with the business. But a few short years later, Lyde passes away in the seance room of the house. Edwin is completely distraught by this and obsessed to reach out to her beyond the grave. By using mediums and practitioners of the occult, Edwin did everything he could to try and talk to his sister again. Edwin's attempt to contact his sister managed to strengthen his resolve, and more frighteningly, his interest in the afterlife and the occult. Edwin began practicing on his own in the house and using different mediums to increase his ability. Through his occult practices and not enough knowledge, it is said that Edwin conjured 17 portals in the house. While Liddy was still alive, she and Edwin had servants in the house, and all of them were named Mary. One such Mary apparently had a baby that was of the bloodline needed to strengthen the entity that was in the Bellaire House. It is documented that a servant's child was lured to the attic window where it leapt to its death. Since then, at least 2 more instances have happened where a person was lured to that attic window to jump. Could one or some of these factors be contributing to the paranormal activity here? Or could this be a perfect storm of war, magic, and death that have made this place truly haunted? Or is it all just window dressing on a hoax?